Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, boxing and MMA fans from around the world. Introducing from Bassett, California, the third man in the ring, Popeye Ray.
Hey, welcome to Third Man in the Ring. I'm your host, Popeye Ray. Today we got another awesome interview. You guys will know him as the commentator of Showtime. Great fighter in his own time. Sharp dresser, I've always pointed that out. And you know, he was the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, bantamweight, super bantamweight, featherweight champion of the world. Had some great fights with Leo Santa Cruz. So today I want you to give a warm welcome to Abner Mares. Come on in, Abner.
Thank you, man. Thank you, brother.
For coming on my show, bro.
Thank you for the invite, man.
Man, it's good seeing you, brother. You look sharp as usual.
Thank you. What you think about this, man? A little custom made, shirt, Ben Davis,
Got a little homeboy in there for us, right?
There's always a homie in there.
That's hard. Because he's gonna tell us about his family, his growing up, and his brother too. He's got a younger brother that I feel a little bit connected to. But hey, Abner, tell the fans a little bit where you grew up, how you grew up.
Okay. Well, I'm originally, I was born in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. Yeah. Came to the United States when I was young, 7 years old. Immigrated to this beautiful country in the city of Hawaiian Gardens. That's where I grew up, the city of HG, Hawaiian Gardens. That's where everything started, man. I pretty much boxed my whole life. Since I was 7, I was already training in Mexico because my dad was a professional boxer. My older brother fought as well. So it's it's a blood thing, So
how many boys are there in your family?
Man, a big family. I got now we are in total 11, so 10 siblings. Wow. Then
that's a Mexican family. Guys.
Yeah, 11 in total, 10 siblings. At the time crossing over here, we were 7. Oh, okay. It was 7 of us, yeah. But
so you still got family in Mexico then, huh?
Well, my brother got deported, Speedy. Yeah. And another one that lives out there, I still have 2.
Awesome. So how was it growing up over here in Hawaiian Gardens? Was it good, bad? Because I know that's the Vadio right
there. Yeah, that's the hood. That's about it. People, misinterpret get a misconception of the name, right? Yeah. Hawaiian Gardens. They think it's a magical place, a vacational place in Hawaii. Palm trees, all right. Yeah. But no, it was pretty rough. It was a rough neighborhood. Yeah. Back in the days when I grew up, I was there in the mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. And that was when, gangbanging was really, in. Yeah. Like, it was like the thing. Like,
you got a couple big hitters from Hawaiian Gardens as well,
Oh, yeah. So it was pretty deep. I remember I couldn't walk alone. We were all getting hit up. I remember when I was a kid, they would steal my bikes, stuff like that you grow up and you man up and you stand up for yourself. Yeah. And, growing up in the street is just like, you become that person, especially, again, going back to the fact that we came here with many, siblings, 7 at the time. Only at the time my mom crosses over. My dad stayed in Mexico. They were having their differences, so my mom came alone. And so she was working 3 jobs.
Wow.
So 3 jobs, so I hardly ever saw my mom. Really never saw my mom. She was always working, and, we were at home with tias. And so what did we do? School, come back, and streets. Yeah. So streets became our family and a home to us.
So where did boxing, even though you were training in Mexico, were you seeking out the boxing gym or?
Well, like I mentioned, my older brother, he was an amateur fighter already since Guadalajara. So when he came to the States, he looked for the nearest gym, Hawaiian Gardens gym.
Was that the park?
Yeah, which, sent big shout out to Manny Nava, Herman Montes at the time. Great trainers, people that helped us out a lot. What was the other guy? Coach Armando. I forget his last name. I'm sorry.
One of them just passed away last year, no? The güerito. I forget his name. Go ahead, though. Bro.
Yeah, and we grew up there, and so my older brother, he came up with that, feeling, that motivation of wanting to continue, to train. So since my mom was working 3 jobs, my older brother will take care of us, and he'll take, 3 or 4 of us to the gym because, he would, and the other ones will stay with my older sister at home, and we'll go to the gym, we'll sit there, I'll see my brother train, I'll see my brother older, Ismael, that's his name. I'll see him work out. And I would like it. I'm like, man, that looks nice. So one day for their entertainment, and Manny was there, and a lot of these guys, he's like, hey, how old is your brother? And I was, I was still 7, 8. Like 7. All right, can he box this kid? Can he box this kid? Yeah. Can he box this kid? I'm like, and then my brother's like, yeah, sure. So they put us up in the ring. Boom, boom, boom. I remember I would put hands on this guy. Boom, dropped him. I still remember because he had cowboy boots to the kid. I swear to God. And the dad was like, no, he fell because of the cowboy's boots. You know, he slipped.
He slipped?
Yeah, he slipped. All right, so the dad took the cowboy boots off and then put them back in it. Boom, boom, again. Got him bloody. Dropped him again. And so he separated us. Like, nah, all right, it's done. So I was like, that's when I kind of like started liking the sport. Like, oh, you know what? This is it. So after that, like my brother would take me to the gym, and now I would not just stay there and watch him work out. I would work out with him. So that's where he kind of like it was born, and they kept going.
And with that said, fans, that's where you want a commentator, and this is why. Props to you. This is what makes you a good commentator, because you know how it is to be in the ring.
Right.
The last thing a lot of people don't want to fans, I'm saying, is what does he know?
Right.
And you know what it is to be from the amateur level all the way to the pros.
Yeah, from not knowing how to throw a single punch to becoming a good fighter to going to the Olympics as well. You know, Olympians.
Yes. Yeah,
so all that process. There. Yeah, but the simple fact that you know the ins and outs, you know the feeling, the urge, or why it started, the hunger and all that. So, yeah, that helps out a lot for sure.
How was your amateur career?
You know what? I had a really good amateur career. Not to brag and not to throw flowers on me.
Fans need to know.
But listen, I had a really, really, really good amateur career. I'm talking about, I think I only had like 12 defeats, over 130 amateur fights. I won nationals, internationals, Golden Gloves, silver gloves. I won Central American games, the Pan American games. I was second. World tournaments. I won the Cadet World Championship. I was the first Cadet World Champion from Mexico to ever become a world champion at the age of 17. No, I think it was like 16. Run up in the world tournament as a youth. So, I pretty much did it all. And then obviously went to the Olympics in 2004.
Did a lot of traveling at that time too.
Man, you look at my passport, stamp after stamp after stamp. So that was a beautiful thing, man, to live that and to see all that. So I regret it now that I have older kids. And my kids are like, do you have pictures of that? I'm like, right here.
That's right. Because
I was stubborn. We had those instant camera, but I wouldn't. I just, it was a kid. I didn't never. So I kind of regret that.
And where was your little brother at this time?
Speedy was back home. I want to say I'm 6 years older than him. I'm 6 years older than Speedy. So Speedy
he was actually
he was home. He was home. He was like. He saw me train. So here's an interesting story. So, a lot of people, know of or heard of my brother, Speedy Mares. And,
he's a homeboy.
Yeah, for good and bad, my little boy, he's a good-hearted kid.
Yes, he is.
Good fighter he was, but at the same time, he loved the streets. So, like I said, way younger than me. And early on, like, I really never loved the sport. Honestly, I like boxing, but never loved it. What I mean by that is that I like going to the gym, I like beating up on people, and I like getting the workout. But I wasn't passionate about like going it constantly and taking it professionally or taking it serious. So the streets was really what I was in love with. I like being out in the hood. I like hanging around with the homies. I started off as a tagger. I was a tagger. I was in this crew, MWS. That's what I used to do, Yeah. So again, going back to my little brothers, he would just look at me and was like, oh, I want to be like my brother. I want to be like Abner. And I remember one time I got arrested, right? Back in the days, it was just different, Back in the days, we had a lot of beef with, brown and, and other colored blacks. And it was something like that we grew up. So I remember.
It's a way of the streets, bro.
Yeah, that's how it was. So I remember, we were going to get down. There was a rumble, Mexicans against them. And boom, I remember we got all kinds of weapons. We put them in the car, bats and all that. And we were driving and boom, we get pulled over, man. We get pulled over and I remember the cops had put us outside, put us in cuffs. I was I must have been like 14, 15 at the time. And I still remember, you know, you feel invincible, bro. You feel like, you know, you're Superman, you know, at that age, and no one can touch you. I remember just having my hands behind my back and looking at the cop like this. And I'm like, hey, man, he's just talking, you know, he was talking shit. And, you know, little stubborn kid that I am, I spit on his face, bro. That was the ultimate. I remember he grabbed me, boom, slammed me in the windshield, busted my lip, and they took me for a little spin, and, you know, they beat me up. Honestly, they beat me up. But they didn't take me to jail. So that's where I learned. They always just blew, and they beat me up. I was like, we're going to take you home. You know, they took me to my mom's. And I remember I got there, and my brother Speedy was there crying, like, hey, let my brother go, like, you know. And
so
my
siblings.
A lot
of love there with
with
brother,
him, and with all of them, man. And that was my learning lesson, to be honest. I was like, man, you know.
Wake up call.
Yeah, it was really. It wasn't. It was like, man, it kind of opened up and like, what am I doing here? You know, why am I doing this? So it did and it didn't. And I go back to that because after that, I kind of like lay low. Like I kind of like, I was behaving a bit. But then the big homies were like, hey, no more tagging crews. It's either you join the gang or, you know, this is over. So a lot of my friends were getting jumped in to the hood. Boom. Weekend after weekend, oh, this Friday is your turn, Abner, and, you know, so-and-so, like, oh, shoot, all right, cool, I'm all about it. Let's do it. So it's a small city. Hawaiian Gardens is a really small city. And I remember it got to my dad's ear. You know, he was already back. So my mom found out, my dad found out. It's like, hey, well, there's word in the street that, you know, you're going to get jumped in. What's going on? I'm like, no, they're lying. No, boom, bro. They packed up my stuff. Like, we're sending you to Mexico. So at the age of 15, my parents sent me out to Mexico City, to Guadalajara first, and said, no son of mine is going to become a cholo. I want you out of here. You got a lot of potential. You're a good fighter.
Said cholo.
Yeah, you know, that's what it was. You know, my parents didn't want that for me. I guess they saw the potential. So they sent me back to Mexico. And, you know, I hold a lot of grudge towards them, obviously, because I was young, and I'm like, I'm missing out on my brothers. I'm missing out on my friends. I'm missing out on them because my parents didn't have papers to go see me, you know? So
I was... Who they send you to?
My tia. I was out there with the tia, first in Guadalajara. And then, you know, hey, you got to pursue your dream. You know, we're going to make the right calls and keep you, you know, boxing. So, yeah, man, that's my story going back to Mexico at the age of 15. And then, fortunate enough, my dad found a really good connect to send me to the boxing committee in Mexico City to try out for the Olympics.
And not to get off that subject, Abner, but is this where you think Speedy, when you weren't there to guide him, he got deeper in it, maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but he obviously got a lot more deeper into it than you did, you know?
So exactly. So going back, you know, the fact that I left the U.S., I left Hawaiian Gardens, I left all my family and everyone back over here. I was in Mexico. My brother's alone, you know, my siblings are alone. Like, everybody's out there doing their thing. And my brother got really deep into gangs. And unfortunately, you know, he didn't pursue the same path as I did. Nor was my older brother. Unfortunately, being the oldest, he had to work. You know, he had to work, provide, you know, for the family. We're talking about a apartment where we only had 2 rooms, my parents, and the other room was for the girls. And we slept in the living room. Us, we lay up, you know, cobija there, and, you know, that was our living room. And it was good, honestly. It kind of benefited a little bit because there was drive-bys all day, every day, man. There was bullet holes in our windows already. So it was like, when we heard a gunshot or you know, a drive-by, we down here already. Ain't nothing gonna happen. So, you know, lived that, seen all that. So yeah, I think that's a little bit that would happen to Speedy, But, you know, I was always there for him. You know, I helped him out even when I turned pro.
And I communicate with his brother Speedy on Instagram, and he always talks well of you. And I try to encourage him to do the right thing, you know? Yeah. I got a lot of love for him. We're going to have to go over there and interview him when he gets out. You know?
Oh, yeah.
You know? But with that said, Abner, so now you get to the Olympics. Yeah. I remember that when you fought for Mexico.
Yeah.
How did that go?
So So, going back to the fact that I didn't like the sport. So, when I was running, as an amateur, I was winning tournament after tournament after tournament in Mexico, and they gotta like.
So what do you think? Excuse me. What do you think was driving you to win if you didn't necessarily like the sport? You just didn't like losing?
I think it was that.
Ain't nobody can beat me.
I always had the mentality that I was better than them. You know what I'm saying? I remember I used to see these kids because they ran a lot in Mexico. Man, they run miles and miles, and I was one of the slowest ones. Track like that, and I'm like, why do you need all that running? Yeah, it helps you out with conditioning, but it's what you do inside the gym. So I would not be a runner, but when I get to a boxing gym, I'll be the one that will hit the heavy bag the most, sparring the most. That's since I was a young kid, that's where I thought I would get my conditioning. I was never a runner. So that was my encouragement. Always like proving people that I could do better, and to point out on that and really put a stamp on it was when I first. So they invited me to a world tournament, a cadet world tournament for cadets 16 and under. 16 under, yeah. They said, all right, we're sending Abner.
Kind of like the novelist of world champions.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. But you're 16. I mean, you're fighting, but you're fighting the best of the best, worldwide. So they sent me and two kids from Sinaloa. I remember. And the president of the boxing committee said, Ricardo Contreras, and he still talks about this story because it's true. He tells me, hey, Abner, man. And I must translate it, and obviously in English. He said, as long as you win one fight, we're happy. Oh, I looked at him. I swear to God, I was like, win one fight? Like, what you mean? I'm like, hey, with all due respect, senor, like, I'm not only going to win one fight, I'm going to win the whole tournament, and I'm going to bring the trophy of the best fighter of the tournament. He looks at me and he smiles like, yeah, son, pats me on the shoulder, bro. I went and did that. I won. I became the world champion, beat everyone, and I brought the big trophy for the best fighter of the tournament.
That's right.
So yeah, it was always like a pride thing, I always want to prove people wrong. So yeah, definitely. That's what pushed me up to the amateur. I mean, up to the Olympics. And once I made it to the Olympics, that's when it really, really hit me.
And that's what I'm saying. When you finally made the team on the Olympics and you're going to go represent in the world, did you think, all right, this is going somewhere now? Did you think, you know what, I'm gonna be the best of the best?
So I still remember that vividly in my head. Like, it's like it was just yesterday. I remember I qualified to the Olympics because in the Pan Ams, if you won first or second, you're automatically qualified for the Olympics in 2004 Athens, Greece, right? So I remember I made second. I lost against Guillermo Rigondeaux, unfortunately. The guy ran the whole fight, by the way. There's a video on YouTube. But, he was good. He was really good fighter, but he just, he wouldn't let me hit him. He was like all over the place. So whatever, I runner up, but I qualified. So I get to my room, and back then you had calling cards, to call back home. There was no cell phones. So I remember it's like, I'm gonna call my family. I had a calling card, boom, and call my family back home. Like, hey, guess what? I didn't win, but I qualified for the Olympics. My whole family in the background, hey, viva, Abner Mares, chiquete uno. Like, oh man, that's beautiful. I still remember that.
Awesome feeling, I guess.
Yeah, and Speedy was one of like, viva Abner, like this and that. And it's like, that's where it hit me. Like, I'm making my family proud, I'm like they're proud of me. So I remember crying with my mom and telling her, hey, I made it. I'm going to the Olympics. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Son of mine is representing our country. So that's when it hit me that I can do something with my life, make something of me, and perhaps, in the long run, in the future, help my family as well. And it all worked out, man. It all worked out.
And going back to the decision for them to ship you to Mexico.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because what if? You know what I mean?
Man.
You and me both know if you would have stood back, you had more of a chance of getting into the game than you would at the
100%.
Because in my opinion, evil is always going to take from good.
Yeah.
It's just a stronger pull.
How did we do? 9 out of 10 of my friends, they all were incarcerated, did 15 plus years. Some of them dead. I swear to God. I
was in jail.
I'm not making this up. Like, these are all friends that, did time. And I see them like, hey, I just got out. Hey, recently, I just saw one that did 20 years and he just got out. I'm like, man, I'm happy for you. you know. So I'm like, man, I really dodged a bullet, you know.
Yeah.
I really did, and
Big bullet, homie.
you know, yeah.
Big bullet.
And I'm thankful, and I'm not talking bad about it. Like everybody chooses their lifestyle, you know. Everybody like I respect everybody because I still have a lot of homies. But they're all proud of me. That's what makes me happy. They're all proud of me.
I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
Not from my body, but I'm proud of you, right? You know what I mean?
Man, yeah, so
we go to the Olympics. What happens there?
So I go to the Olympics, Athens, Greece, right? 2004. Oh, man. So I got robbed. That's what happened. I got robbed.
You know what? And this is coming from Ray Corona, not you. I just struggle with USA boxing, bro.
Right.
I struggle with the amateur. Remember the Korea? You were kind of young. Remember Korea?
Yeah, I still remember.
Prior, I think it was 84. Oh my God, it was just major robberies, bro.
Yeah.
But this is me talking. But it just, there was a lot of stolen guys. Remember Evander Holyfield?
Yeah.
You?
Even Floyd.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather.
And it
crying,
just,
like, you know.
it is what it is. I guess these are the things that make you better, maybe. I don't know, but it's still at the time very hurtful, you know.
Yeah, I still remember Floyd crying. I remember Shakur Stevenson crying. I remember a lot of these fighters crying because of the fact that they thought they won, and you know, like, hey, it's not fair. Like, I worked so hard to, you know, get to where I was, and to be ripped off like just like that because someone had to fight a bot. I'm sorry, and it is what it is, and it is what it is. It was just that. I remember beating this guy. I remember, bro, like. Descarado, it was bad. To a point where, like, on TV, people were watching the fight on TV. There was my flag, Mexican flag, and the flag of the fighter I was fighting with, which was from Hungary. Boom, boom. Every time you hit him, a number will go up on your flag, right? Meaning that you connected.
Do that concubine.
Yeah. That you connected. This is how rigged it was. I'm hitting the guy. Boom, boom, boom. Guess whose number went up? His.
Yeah.
That bad, like, oh man.
Openly, bro.
Yeah,
Openly,
yeah. So
it's just ugly, man.
You know, things happen for a reason. I think that you know that happened for a reason because
that's a nice way of looking at it.
Yeah. And you know why? Because two things. One, the one that was commentating my fight in Mexico was Julio Cesar Chavez, and I remember Julio Cesar Chavez was commentating my fight, and my fight became a little before it went viral back then, but if it would have been this time and age, like, bro, I would have been famous because Julio Cesar
famous.
No, but listen, like, but viral. I'm talking about when I fought and I lost. Julio Cesar Chavez got up out of his seat and cursed on national TV. He said, "Could I say it?" Yeah. He said, "Chinguen a su madre, le robaron al mexicano." He got pissed and he got up and like, fuck everybody.
Say that in English too. Tell him in English.
No, he said, fuck you guys, fuck everybody. Abner Mares won. What are they doing? They ripped him up, and that's what. And it went viral. Like people were like,
Cesar Chavez.
Right? People the next day, people talking about the fight. Hey, you saw Julio Cesar Chavez curse on TV? Like, you know, this is everybody talking about the fight.
That's why, in your loss, it made you that much more famous.
Yeah.
In your loss, it made you that much more popular. Yeah. Because think about it, like you said, it might have been just in God's plan. Because for the simple, if you would have just won, he won, congratulations. But because you got ripped off, the way you got ripped off, the man who was commentating, what he says, was the greatest in his time, you know what I mean?
And there's another one I'm gonna add. So Julio Cesar Chavez, you know, did that on national TV back home, and then on the other side, Oscar De La Hoya and his beautiful wife at the time were watching my fight, Millie. And I know this because Millie told me. It's like, oh, I remember Oscar and I watching the fight. And I remember you getting interviewed and crying. You know, I was 16, 17 at the time. I'm crying like, hey, I won the fight. Like, they robbed me. And she said, Oscar, you know, Oscar, you got to sign this kid. Help him, you know, he won that fight. And she told me that. And Oscar signed me because of that. So I'm telling you, like, everything happens for a reason.
But at the same time, from what I know, once you make the Olympics, you pretty much know you're going to have a decent payday coming. Am I right?
Yes. So, but at the same time,
the gold
if you make gold, you're making big bucks, man. So
if you get the gold, once you hit the Olympics, you know you're in that realm there.
Yeah, you're in a different bracket, of course. After you make it to the pros, you're an Olympian, hey, you're worth this much.
That's right. That's right.
Silver medal, you're worth this much. Gold medal, hey, here's $1 million.
But again, I'm not downplaying it. The way you got ripped off, it still made you like, he should have got the gold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He should have got the gold.
Yeah, so that was my story as an amateur, working my way up.
It hurt.
Oh, till this day. Till this day, it's like, what could have?
Because I'm sure you would have want that in your man's den. You know what I mean? That gold medal.
Yeah.
But the way, again, the Chavez. I mean, too bad back in those days. Like if we had it now, all those.
That's what I'm saying.
Media,
Yeah, it would have been TikTok famous.
That's right.
Yeah, but
So you come home from the Olympics. Now what?
So I come back from the Olympics, and I'm getting promoter after promoter, hitting my, knocking on my door, calling my people.
Do you have a manager yet? Do you have?
Yes.
So you already have a manager?
I already had a manager, and which I thank him. He's a good friend, Shelly Finkel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Shelly Finkel was helping me out. He would pay my parents' rent. He was already helping out with money. Like, we're poor people, man. So he was helping us out at the time. I think he came into a picture like maybe a year before I made it to the Olympics, so he was already helping out.
He's seen already.
Yeah,
it's going
so
somewhere.
yeah, so once he helped me out, signed my contract with Oscar de la Hoya. I was the first. Listen to this. Zoom in if you can. I swear to God. And Golden Boy, you don't claim about this, but it's known facts. I was first grown world champion for Golden Boy Promotions.
That's right.
Facts.
That's right.
That's facts.
Yo.
I swear to God.
There you go.
That's what it was. From 0 to world champion, they made me. Yeah, and I respected them. And I thank them for that. I want to thank Oscar Golden Boy Promotions for that. But they don't brag about that. But I did that. I was the first.
And again, in my opinion, bro, I got nothing but respect and love for Oscar.
No,
he's helped
good.
a lot of fighters. You know what I mean? And like we all know, there's haters out there, but Oscar's done well for boxing, bro. He's done well for you.
No, he helped me out.
He takes care of California very well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He takes, when I see him, he treats my family well, and I got.
Nah, he's good people, man. Good people, good promotion.
Yeah.
I got nothing but the utmost respect for them. And I also want to clarify something. Could I do that here on your show? So there was obviously bad blood and bad talks about Abner and Golden Boy Promotions because after I left Golden Boy Promotions, a lot of people thought I left Golden Boy Promotions, like in a bad way, like, hey, I'm ripping off your contract and I'm done with you guys. I got something better for me. No, my contract was over.
Okay.
Oscar can state this, and my contract was done. I gave Oscar and Golden Boy Promotions the benefit of the first what do you call it? First bid. Hey, I'm giving you the first bid to, hey, can you sign me back? Yeah. And Oscar said, yes, I got you. We're gonna sign you back. 1 week, 2 weeks. Hey, Oscar, I gotta feed my family. Are you gonna sign me? Yes or no? 3 weeks, a month. Oscar, Golden Boy. Again, I'm not talking bad about them. I'm just saying like that's what happened. And so they never got back at me. So what happens? I gotta do something for my career, and there's other people knocking on my door. So what do? I go that way. I sign with them, and then after I sign with them, like, oh. I'm not them talking, but a lot of people, oh, he left Golden Boy Promotion. They helped him out all this whole time. He's a backstabber. I'm like, nah, man, this is business. This is business. This is what happened. I did not leave him
in a bad way.
I gave them the first sign. They didn't want to re-sign me. I went this route, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now, Oscar helped me out a lot. Golden Boy Promotion helped me out a lot. I got nothing but respect for the whole Golden Boy crew, and they've been doing great, like you mentioned, and that's why I brag about being their first.
Because if it wasn't true, you wouldn't even speak.
No, I would not even. Yeah, believe me.
You wouldn't even speak.
Nah, never. I don't tell lies. I never to.
So who did you sign with next?
So obviously, Al Heyman. Al Heyman signed me. Yeah, Al Heyman. So unfortunately, during that time, there was a lot of fighters from Golden Boy that were leaving.
Yeah.
Oscar, in bad terms. Even under contract, they were leaving. I'm not gonna say names, but there was a lot of them. But not me. I was one of the ones that my contract ended.
Loyal, bro.
My contract ended. I gave them the first option.
And in my opinion, Mares, that's the barrio in you.
Yeah.
Loyalty.
Now loyalty. I'm
loyalty. You know what I mean?
Till this day, I swear to God, that's the type of person I am.
That's right. Loyalty.
Yeah.
You know what, Oscar? If you want to sign me, here I am. But again, you got to
Yeah.
take care of your family.
Yeah.
So you went with Al Heyman, right?
Yeah.
So what now?
Man,
What was your first biggest fight?
So, so after Golden Boy Promotions, I went with Al Heyman, and yes, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they paid a lot better.
Yeah.
They were giving some good money at the time, and I started doing good. Win after win after win, and just made that much. With Al Heyman, which I'm really grateful till this day. The PBC crew, the whole, Sylvia, Sam, Al, like everyone, that's part of PBC, love you guys and thank you for the help to this day. I'm not under contract anymore. I haven't been for many years. And a lot of these fighters well, I'm talking for myself. I'm not on contract, but they still have love for me. And that's what we talk about, loyalty, to the fact that I've been there for them. They're there for me. So, my first fight was Arturo Santos, who was he was in the Olympic team with me as well. Leo Santa Cruz. I had the Leo Santa Cruz fights with them.
Great
Oh,
wars with the Santa Cruz. I was ringside on one of them. I was ringside on one of them. Those are some wars, bro. Those are some wars, man. I don't know how many punches you guys throw in 12 rounds.
I think we broke a record. I want to say we broke on the first fight. In the very first fight, we broke a record.
And that kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
To this day, I bump into people and they're like, hey, they don't even mention the fact that you lost or won, whatever. They're like, yo, Mares, that fight, man, against Leo Santa Cruz. My God, the best fight
you
ever.
You could have fought that in the
phone, like, oh man, like,
so the referee
it's so electrifying. You had to be there. Like, if you were there, like, what it felt like, electrifying people. You had half of the crowd for Leo, half of the crowd for Mares. There was fights before, there were fights after, so it was that type of fight.
I think what props to you, as much as Leo, I love Leo too, you had both sides. You had the Chicanos and the Paisanos that loved you too.
Oh, yeah.
You had both sides, where Leo mostly his people from Mexico, but yes, it was very electrifying. It was a great action, both fights. You know what I mean? What was the record on that?
Man, he beat me twice, man. He beat me twice.
But you brought it every time.
Close fights. I thought the first one I won, to be honest. It was close fight. I thought I pulled it off. The second one, he won. He did his thing. But it was those type of fights.
You ran out of gas.
That second one. And then I recently talked to him. I saw him in Vegas. And he was like, hey, Mares, why don't...
Mad Dog each other?
Yeah, nah, not even. You know that guy. Hey, Leo's so down to earth. Like, he's so humble. Like, he'll look at you, he'll look down. Like, he's just that type of kid, So I saw him in Vegas. He's like, hey, Mares, how about we do another one? I'm like, shoot, let me know, man. Hey, why not? We're at that same age already. We're both having fun in so long. So it would just be like kind of like an exhibition type of match,
Yeah.
A retirement type of fight. So, that would be good. So, Leo, if you're listening, watching,
that's right.
Let's do a third one, man. Let's run it back, man.
That's right.
Third.
I'll volunteer for the referee.
That's right.
Let's talk about a bad fight. Well, not necessarily a bad fight, but one of your losses.
Yeah, that was bad. That was I hit rock bottom right there.
Well, what do you think happened? I mean, besides
a lot of things. You know how people say there's no excuse and I don't want to make excuses, and then they talk about, but it's because of this and because of that. I'm going to be one of those guys.
But after the fact, it's been so many years.
I know,
now tell you're too hard.
Yeah, I'm going to be one. He beat me. He knocked me out. It is what it is. It happened. But I'm going to talk about what happened.
Yeah.
So I was already in my diva, like I'm the shit type of, mentality, not working out.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. This is coming from a world champion. He's actually admitting you get to that point sometimes, huh?
I was already a 3-division world champion. I was already ranked pound for pound, the best pound for pound on the Ring magazine.
This is where when he walks in, everybody like, can I take a picture? And
I was doing my thing.
Do you think it was too much for you at the time?
Mentally, maybe, yeah. I just got everything. I just let everything get to me. The fact that I was making good money, the friends that were getting to me.
More friends than
the lights, the girls, the this and that. And I'm not lying. I'm married. I've been married for 18 years, and my wife would not let me lie about this. I disappeared for 2 weeks, bro. Prior to a fight, maybe like a month before the fight, 2 weeks I was gone. I was in TJ, living it up, man, with with some friends out there. We had a what do you call it?
Careful what you
Yeah,
say.
no, yeah, right. Yeah, but it was just one of them parties,
Yeah.
man. Wow. And I was there for 2 weeks, man, just doing my thing. And I remember one of my friends, rest in peace, he told me, he's like, Abner, aren't you supposed to be working out? And I'm like, yeah, no, but I'm good. I'm fighting this older man. I got it. Yeah, Johnny Gonzalez at the time was 33, and I was like 26. Yeah. So I was like, nah, I'm fighting this old man. I got on his side. Hey, champ, he told me, and this is a guy, high rank guy, was like telling me like, hey, what are you doing here? Like, get your ass in the gym. Like, hey, I'm like, nah, it's good. I'm like, it's like, all right, don't say I didn't tell you. So I stayed for 2 weeks, and then I went back and I continued training, to my level of training, which I thought it was whatever. And
Just
then,
enough to get by you.
Yeah. And then boom, step in. I was already known by that guy that, that fighter will walk out with music. I had my banda already in my dressing room, the whole entourage. Bro, we sold out that place, remember?
Yeah. Yes.
It was the Dignity Health Center before it was the StubHub Center.
Yes.
Sold out.
Packed.
Everyone for T-Minus.
And again, even though it was 90% T-minus, he still had his Mexican brothers there, you know what I mean?
He had he had like 10, 20 people there,
Yeah.
but hey,
These
the
15
10, 20
came-
people, like after that became 100 because they instantly turned, turn on me. But it is what it is. It happens. It comes with it, So, man, and I felt it. My ring walk
one?
I felt this since the locker room because I was already in bad terms with my wife because, I was gone for 2 weeks. I was doing my things, stupid stuff, So my wife was mad at me, not in talking terms. I remember she walked in just cold, like, hey, good luck. Went back to her seat. I'm like, I'm not liking this, The commission wouldn't let me.
She even walked in.
Yeah, man, seriously. The commission wouldn't let me play banda inside the room when they normally did.
Everything was just
so it
going
was like
sideways.
everything was going. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I had a boombox. I'm like, man, it's warming up. It was cold. It was in August. Cold out there. Dignity Health Center's open doors, man. Yeah. Oh man, what's going on? I wasn't feeling, man. I knew something was gonna happen. Regulo Caro gets there. He was gonna walk me out. Boom, we walk out. Ready to walk out. Abner Mares, boom. No, banda. Hey, Mares. I get in the ring. I'm jumping. I swear to God, I'm jumping, hopping, like in slow motion, looking around to people. Like, man, I don't feel myself. Whatever. Round one. Like, man, this motherfucker hits hard, All right, whatever. Yeah.
It's hard.
This old man, he's got old man power, man. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I'm walking my way in. Boom. I hit him. I'm like, all right, I'm getting little by little, I'm getting my groove.
Flow going.
Yeah, getting my groove, getting my flow. And I'm like, all right, I landed. I remember I landed in last combination. Boom. I step back. He does this.
Drops it down, yeah.
I drop my hand. He gave me a little feint. He does this, I do. He goes, boom.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that now.
Down goes Mares for the first time. Boom. Slow motion like a movie, right? I still remember this like a movie. I'm like, you see the lights, you just hear everybody like, no. I'm lying, I didn't hear shit. The crowd went silence. Remember, everybody was there for me. Everybody was as shocked as I was. Boom, I get up and like, then everybody's like, what's going on? And it's like, Abner Mares gets dropped for the first time, 3 division world champion. I sit up a little bit. I look at the ref, Jack, by the way.
Jack Reese.
Shout out to Jack. He's counting. I'm like, all right, I'm getting up. I get up. Abner, you gotta show me something. You good? Yeah, I'm good. All right, fight. Big mistake. What do? I fight instead of holding.
Yeah.
I go in there. I start.
That's
the warrior. That's the Mexican man. It's like, oh man. So I start throwing. Boom, I get hit again. Boom, I'm throwing the boom. I get hit again. Boom, I fold. Remember my knee folded. I fold back. Oh shit, I'm down again. I'm still conscious. I want to get back up. I sit back. I sit up and I'm like, I got my back, my back against the rope. I'm like, thinking. It's like counting 1, 3, 5. Abner, you okay? I'm like, I do this. I swear to God, go back, go to the to the video. I do this, and he goes. I'm like, I'm getting up. I'm good. No, you're done, Abner. I'm sorry, you're done. Taking off the mufflers. I'm like, I'm getting up. Like, no, like, damn, what just happened?
We'll bring Jack down and kick his ass.
We've had this talk. Me and Jack, we've had this talk many times.
Talked to Jack, but
yeah.
In Jack's defense, bro, one of the best referees in the world, in my opinion. He's our mentor. He's just looking out for Abner.
I know.
That's all he's looking at. He's saving Abner Mares from himself.
There's two things that could have happened. I told Jack, hey, Jack, imagine would you let me get up. He's like, Abner, you know what? Oh, because what? Keep in mind, it was the last 10 seconds when he knocked me down. So if I would have got up, count 10, box, ding, 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 bell. Abner goes to a corner, and he's back. You know, I revive a little bit. So I lost that chance of recuperating. You get me? So Jack is like, man, you know what? I could have let you get up, and perhaps you would have recovered. And guess what? You're young, and I'm sure you would have recovered, and you might have beaten him. But there's always that if.
That's right.
What if you didn't? What if you get even hit worse, and something bad happens to you? And there's a ref talking to you, and you're not listening, and like, you know what? You're right. And I'm like, Jack, don't feel bad, man. I'm good, man. We're in good terms, and you're right. You're right about that.
I say we still get that white.
You know, yeah. So you get me? You get both sides. Besides me as a fighter, like I wanted to get up. Like, give me that fighting chance. Give me that fighting chance, because there's always that. What if?
What if? Yeah.
Chico Corrales against Castillo.
Yeah.
Anyone would have counted off.
I probably would have.
Castillo.
I probably would have stopped it, bro.
You get me?
The second knockdown, I probably would have stopped it. And that fight became history. You know what I mean? But as well as yours, you had the great fight.
Yeah, so again, you know, it went down in history, but not in a good way. You know, as Abner Mares got knocked out in the very first round, to this day, I still get clowned by homies, by parents. Like, man, Mares, I was barely getting my beer, man.
Don't say Gonzalez in front of Mares.
Yeah, hey, Mares, I'm like sitting down and I was like barely checking my beer. Like, anyone last name Gonzalez, you're not welcome in my house. Now I'm like, no, but.
So, hey, Mares, let's talk about the ugly side of boxing now. You damaged your eye, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, thanks for watching. You want to see the whole video, the whole interview? Go on patreon.com, Ref Popeye Ray, and check it out, guys. Appreciate it. God bless, man.